2 Chronicles chapter 11. Rehoboam. When Rehoboam arrived in Jerusalem, he called together the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, 180,000 selected warriors to fight against Israel and win back the kingdom for Rehoboam. But the word of the Lord came to Shemaiah the man of God. Say this to Rehoboam son of Solomon king of Judah, and to all the Israelites in Judah and Benjamin. The Lord says this: do not go out to attack your fellow Israelites. Let everyone return home, for what has happened is my doing. They obeyed the Lord's command and went back instead of fighting against Jeroboam. Rehoboam lived in Jerusalem and built fortified towns in Judah. He rebuilt Bethlehem, Etam, Tekoa, Bethzur, Soko, Adullam, Gath, Maresha, Ziph, Adoraim, Lachish, Azekah, Zorah, Aijalon, Hebron. These were fortified towns in Judah and Benjamin. He fortified them with walls and put commanders in them with stores of food, oil, and wine. In each of these towns he put shields and spears and made them very strong. So he kept Judah and Benjamin under his control. For all the territory of Israel, priests and Levites came to Judah. The Levites indeed abandoned their pasture lands and their holdings and came to Judah and Jerusalem, since Jeroboam and his sons did not recognize them as priests of the Lord, and he had appointed priests of his own to serve at the high places, to worship the goats and the bull calves he had made. Members of all the tribes of Israel, people who sincerely wanted to worship the Lord, the God of Israel, followed them and came to Jerusalem to sacrifice to the Lord, the God of their ancestors. These Israelites added strength to the kingdom of Judah, and for 3 years gave support to Rehoboam son of Solomon. During this period they remained loyal to David and Solomon. Rehoboam took as wife Mahalath, daughter of Jerimoth, son of David, and Abihail, daughter of Eliab, son of Jesse. She bore him sons, Jeush, Shemariah, and Zaham. After her he married Maacah, daughter of Absalom, who bore him Abijah, Attai, Ziza, Shelomith. Rehoboam loved Maacah, daughter of Absalom, more than all his other wives and concubines. He had in all a total of 18 wives and 60 concubines, 28 sons and 60 daughters. Rehoboam favored Abijah, Maacah's son, over all his other children, choosing him as the one to succeed him as king. Rehoboam ruled prudently by distributing his sons throughout Judah and Benjamin, placing them in charge of the fortified towns, where he provided them with generous provisions and many wives. 2 Chronicles chapter 12. As soon as Rehoboam had established his authority as king and had become powerful, he and all his people abandoned the law of the Lord. In the 5th year of Rehoboam, because of his disloyalty to the Lord, Shishak, king of Egypt, attacked Jerusalem with 1,200 chariots and 60,000 horses, and a countless army of Libyans, Sukkim, and Ethiopians who came from Egypt with him. He captured the fortified towns of Judah and reached Jerusalem. At the advance of Shishak, Rehoboam and the Judean captains had gathered near Jerusalem. To them came Shemaiah the prophet, and he said, "The Lord says this: as you have abandoned me, now I have abandoned you into the hands of Shishak." Then the Israelite captains and the king humbled themselves and said, "The Lord is just." When the Lord saw that they had humbled themselves, the word of the Lord came to Shemaiah. "They have humbled themselves. Because of this I will not destroy them, but I will grant them some deliverance. My anger shall not fall on Jerusalem through the power of Shishak. Nevertheless, they shall become his slaves, so that they may come to understand the difference between serving me and serving the kings of other countries. Shishak, king of Egypt, attacked Jerusalem and took all the treasures from the temple of the Lord and from the royal palace. He took everything, including the golden shields that Solomon had made. King Rehoboam had bronze shields made in place of them and entrusted them to the care of the officers of the guard who guarded the king's palace gate. Whenever the king went to the temple of the Lord, the guards would accompany him carrying the shields and return them to the guardroom afterward. Since he had submitted to the Lord, the anger of the Lord did not completely destroy him. There was still something good in Judah. King Rehoboam strengthened his position in Jerusalem and continued to govern. Now Rehoboam was 41 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 17 years in Jerusalem, the city chosen by the Lord out of all the tribes of Israel as the place where his name would be. Rehoboam's mother was Naamah the Ammonite. He did what was evil because he had not set his heart on seeking the Lord. The history of Rehoboam from first to last is all recorded in the annals of Shemaiah the prophet and of Iddo the seer. There was constant warfare between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Then Rehoboam rested with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. His son Abijah succeeded him. Job chapter 25, Bildad's third speech. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered, Dominion and awesome power belong to God, to him who establishes peace in the heavens. Can his armies be numbered? Upon whom does his light not rise? How can man be righteous before God? How can one born of a woman be pure? Even the moon is not bright, nor are the stars pure in his sight. How much less man, this insect, the son of man, this worm. Acts chapter 10, verse 1 to 23. The vision of Cornelius. There was in Caesarea a man named Cornelius, a centurion in what was called the Italian cohort. He and his whole household were religious and God-fearing. He gave generously to the people and constantly prayed to God. One afternoon about 3 o'clock, he had a vision in which he clearly saw an angel of God coming towards him and calling, Cornelius. He stared at the vision in terror and said, What is it, Lord? The angel answered, Your prayers and your alms have ascended as a memorial offering before God. Now send a man to Joppa and summon a certain Simon known as Peter. He is the guest of Simon at Tanner, whose house is beside the sea. As soon as the angel who spoke to him departed, Cornelius called 2 of his servants and a devout soldier from among those attached to his service, and after having explained everything to them, he sent them to Joppa. The vision of Peter. The next day, while they were still on their journey and approaching the city, Peter went up to the roof at about noon to pray. He became hungry and wished to eat something, and while they were preparing food, he fell into a trance. He saw the heavens opened and an object that looked like a large sheet coming down and being lowered to the ground by its 4 corners. In it were all kinds of 4-legged animals and reptiles of the earth and birds of the air. Then a voice said to him, Go and get up, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter replied, Certainly not, Lord. I have never eaten anything profane or unclean. And again, and a second time the voice spoke, What God has made clean, you have no right to call profane. This happened 3 times, and suddenly the sheet was taken up into the sky. While Peter was still doubting over the meaning of the vision he had seen, the messenger sent by Cornelius arrived. They were asking for the house of Simon and were now standing at the gate. They called out to inquire whether Simon, known as Peter, was a guest there. While Peter was still pondering on the vision, the Spirit spoke to him. See, there are 3 men looking for you. Get up and go downstairs and follow them without hesitation, for I have sent them. So Peter went and said to the men, I am the one you are looking for. What brings you here? They answered, We are coming from Cornelius the centurion. He is an upright and God-fearing man, well respected by all the Jewish people. He had been instructed by a holy angel to summon you to his house, so that he may listen to what you have to say. So Peter invited them in and put them up for the night. The next day he went with them, and some of the brothers from Joppa accompanied him.